There's a reason you're here in this moment. Not just because you clicked a video, not just because you're curious, but because something in you, quiet and ancient, recognized something in this message before your conscious mind caught up. It's not coincidence. It's resonance. The universe has a way of placing mirrors in front of us when we're ready to truly see ourselves. And that mirror might not look like some grand epiphany or flashing neon sign. Sometimes it looks like a pause in your day, a moment of silence between tasks, a single breath where everything feels heavier or clearer. Have you felt it lately? That subtle shift in your perception? That sensation that something is ending or beginning, or maybe both? It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's that whisper that keeps returning when you're alone. That nudge that says, there's more than this. You might not be able to explain it. You might still be trying to ignore it. But it's there, waiting patiently. Maybe the life you've built feels safe. You know the routines, the expectations, the roles you've played so well. But comfort, if you stay in it too long, becomes a kind of slow decay. It's cozy, but it doesn't stretch you. It keeps you alive, but not truly living. You're beginning to realize that safe can be another word for sleepwalking. And you've been waking up. The old version of you, the one who made decisions out of fear or guilt or habit, has done its job. Protected you. It helped you survive. But it's not equipped to take you where your soul is now asking you to go. And maybe others don't get it. They see you shifting, questioning, changing, and it unsettles them. Because when one person wakes up, it challenges everyone still asleep. They may tell you to be grateful, as if questioning your path means you're ungrateful. They may remind you of all the reasons you should be happy. But you're not meant to fit into someone else's definition of a good life. You're not here to fulfill a script that was never written with your spirit in mind. There's a quiet kind of bravery in listening to what others cannot hear. In trusting that inner voice even when no one else understands it. Every choice that brought you to this moment, every mistake, every misstep, every beautiful detour, it wasn't random. It was all preparation, an education in becoming. So stop regretting the past. You didn't waste time. You gathered wisdom. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need approval to pivot, to change, to say, this no longer fits who I'm becoming. You only need your own yes. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the part of you that's been waiting to rise. Yes to more. Pause for a moment. Can you feel the weight of that question? What would happen if you chose not to ignore it this time? What would change if you actually honored that whisper? Imagine yourself years from now looking back. Will you remember this as the moment you turned away from truth, or the moment you leaned into it? Will this be the day you silenced the voice again, or the day you finally said, I'm ready? Because here's the truth most people won't tell you. There's never a perfect moment, only a present one. And this one right here is pulsing with invitation. You didn't stumble into this message by accident. You arrived right on time, because something inside you already knows. You've reached a turning point, and the only thing left to decide is which direction you'll go. You've reached a turning point, not the kind you announce with fireworks or dramatic endings, but the quieter kind, the one that lives in your bones before it ever shows up in your actions. It's that sacred inner space where two realities stand before you, who you've been and who you could become. This moment is not about fixing yourself. You are not broken. It's about remembering yourself. The version of you that existed before the world told you who to be. Before you adapted, compromised, played small just to stay safe. You've been carrying expectations that were never yours. Wearing masks so long, you forgot how your real face feels in the light. But now, that light is beginning to touch you again. And it's uncomfortable, isn't it? Like waking up in a room that's been dark for years. Your eyes are adjusting, but part of you still wants to roll over and go back to sleep. To pretend you didn't notice the cracks in the ceiling, the whispers in the silence. But something deeper won't let you. Not anymore. Because you're starting to realize, your discomfort isn't a punishment. It's a signal. A sacred friction designed to move you. To pull you back into alignment with what's real. That restlessness you feel? It's not chaos. It's a compass. And if you slow down enough, if you stop trying to fix, numb, or rush past it, you'll notice it's pointing somewhere. Maybe it's toward a dream you've buried. Maybe it's a truth you've been afraid to speak. Maybe it's a life that looks nothing like the one you're living, but feels like home. This is your turning point, and you don't need to have it all figured out. Clarity rarely comes in a lightning bolt. It comes in steps. Small, sacred steps of courage. You might not know the whole path, but you do know the next step. And that's enough. Trust that. The world will try to convince you that logic is the only safe guide. But logic alone never built a meaningful life. It built safety nets, not wings. The truth is, you were never meant to follow someone else's blueprint. You were meant to design your own. To build a life that mirrors your values, your frequency, your soul's blueprint. And that takes more than planning. It takes permission. Your own permission to begin again. Because yes, beginnings can be terrifying. But do you know what's worse? Staying in a life that quietly kills your spirit. This moment right now. This is your soul's rebellion. Your refusal to go numb. You're rising. It might not look dramatic on the outside. You might still be going to work, answering texts, pretending everything is fine. But inside, something is shifting. And that shift is everything. You are peeling back layers. Questioning the rules you once accepted without thought. You are meeting the part of you that isn't afraid to want more. And no, that doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you honest. Gratitude is not complacency. You can be thankful for the life you've had, and still crave the one you're meant for. So if the whisper is getting louder, if the stillness is starting to crack open, listen. Because transformation doesn't always come as a roar. Sometimes, it arrives as a single breath, a moment of truth, a soft but unmistakable knowing that something has to change. And that something is you. Not because who you are is wrong, but because who you are becoming has outgrown the cage you've been living in. So here's the question that remains. Will you answer the invitation? Will you trust that the discomfort is not a dead end, but a doorway? Because everything you want, everything that calls to you from beyond the veil of shoulds and somedays, is waiting on the other side of one brave choice. This moment isn't asking you to leap. It's asking you to turn, even just a little, toward the life that's been waiting for you to remember. This is your turning point, and it begins right here, with your next breath. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of this moment, not a better version, not a more productive, more likable, or more acceptable one, but a truer one that breathes more freely, moves with intention, and no longer trades authenticity for approval. And maybe for the first time, you're starting to feel what that version of you actually wants. Not what you were told to want. Not what your family expects. Not what society sold you. But what you truly crave. Depth. Meaning. A life that feels like an echo of your inner world. Not a mask you wear to survive the outer one. You're waking up. And waking up doesn't always feel like bliss at first. Sometimes it feels like grief. Grief for the years spent in roles you didn't choose. Grief for the parts of you that went quiet so others could feel comfortable. Grief for the dreams you deferred because you didn't yet believe you were worthy of them. But here's the truth no one tells you. Grief is sacred. It means you're no longer numb. It means you care enough to feel again. And through that feeling, a new clarity emerges. Clarity about what you're no longer available for. Clarity about the kind of relationships that drain you. The habits that dull your shine. The inner narratives that keep you playing small. This clarity might not be loud, but it's powerful. It's the kind that builds slowly like a sunrise. And one day you'll look around and realize, you're no longer trying to shrink to fit old spaces. You're no longer chasing people who don't see your worth. You're no longer betraying your intuition just to keep the peace. Because you've remembered who you are. Not all at once, but moment by moment, decision by decision. You've relearned how to trust your inner compass, to listen for what feels true even if it scares you, to move toward expansion even when comfort tries to pull you back. And here you are, standing at the edge of that decision. You can stay, repeat the loop, tell yourself the same stories and call it stability. You can choose the unknown, not recklessly, not without fear, but with reverence, with the quiet knowing that your soul didn't come here to play small. You came here to grow, to awaken, to remember. So maybe today is the day you make a promise to yourself. Not a dramatic vow, but a quiet commitment. I will no longer abandon myself just to be acceptable. That single promise changes everything. Because once you honor your truth, the universe begins to rearrange. New paths reveal themselves. Aligned people cross your orbit. Doors open where before there were only walls. And all of it begins now. Not when you have it all figured out. Not when the fear disappears. But now. This turning point isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more of who you already are. And here's something beautiful to remember. You don't need to burn your life down to change. You just need to stop pretending the old life fits. There's a deeper yes inside you. Let it rise. There's a voice that's been whispering to you for years. This is your permission to finally listen. And as you do, you'll find that the path doesn't unfold before you commit. It unfolds because you commit. So take the step. Even if it's small. Even if it's quiet. Even if no one else sees it but you. Because your soul will notice. And that's enough. Now, if this message reached you, if something stirred in your heart, write this in the comments below. I'm choosing me. Say it for yourself. Say it out loud if you need to. Let it be the first echo of your turning point in the world. And if you want more messages like this, if you're on a path of awakening and ready to keep choosing your truth, subscribe to this channel. There's more waiting for you here. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of everything that's real. You've reached a turning point. Now walk through it.